So today I'm joined once again by my lovely assistant Sam, and I'm going to show you a pretty cool trick. So it looks something like this. So I can shuffle the deck here, and can you actually hold out your hands, because I'm going to have you reach into the middle here and just pull out a chunk of maybe 10 to 15 cards. So just kind of reach in here, just pull a chunk of cards out. It doesn't really matter where they're from, but is that good? Okay, so I can take them back here. I'll just show you. Here, we got a bunch of random cards, right? So do you actually like red cards or black cards more? That's a good question.
Red.
Red, okay, so take these cards, shuffle them, but don't look at them. Keep them face down, because what I'm gonna have you do is I'm actually gonna have you try to keep all of the red cards only and try to get rid of all of the black cards. So any cards that you think are black, just one at a time, I'd like you to take those out and place them face down on the table here, okay? And the goal for this is we're gonna try to keep the red cards in your hand. So yeah, go through whichever cards you think are black, just place them here on the table. And we'll see how good you do. And remember, you saw the cards in the beginning, so you know the rough amount. But just go off intuition. Wow, you think all of these are black?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. So that should then mean that all of those cards are red. Go ahead and take a look and see, because those cards should be red, which should mean that the cards that you had just given me are indeed all black cards. And yeah, that is the trick. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to stick around for the tutorial. Alright guys, so here's the tutorial for the trick that you just saw. So the method for this trick is actually pretty simple. There are a few sleights that can be a little bit tricky, and you have to use misdirection as well. But if you guys practice this, it really is a very, very easy trick to perform. So the setup for this trick is also pretty simple. You're just gonna take about half the deck, set it aside, and then take the other half of the deck and split it into red cards and black cards. Here I have about 11 red and 11 black, but it doesn't need to be exactly that. I like to place the red cards on top of the black cards over here, so that when I flip the cards over, the red cards will then be on the bottom of the deck and the black cards will be right above them. So I have this situation here in the deck, and if I just spread the cards out for the spectator very quickly, like if I lift up the cards here and just kind of spread through the cards like this, then the cards do look very, very shuffled. And you can also begin the trick by shuffling the top few cards of the deck and then just kind of replacing those back on the top. So it does look like this can be a totally shuffled deck of cards. So to begin this trick, you're actually going to ask a spectator to help you out. You're going to be getting a break on the last red card over here, or technically the first red card. You're just going to in-jog that with your fingers, and then flip the deck over, push the card down so that you now have a pinky break on top of now all of these red cards on the bottom here. So what you're gonna do is you're actually going to be spreading the deck out for the spectator, and I only like to spread out the top maybe 20 cards or so, and you're going to ask the spectator to reach in here and to pull out a chunk of maybe 10 to 15 cards. So they're gonna go ahead and do that. They're gonna pull out a small chunk of cards from the top half of the deck, and I like to say, after they pull it out, I like to say, so yeah, it really does not matter where these cards come from, and that just kind of makes it sound a little bit more random. Now you're going to show the spectator the cards over here. Just very quickly spread the cards out from right to left. That's actually very important that you spread the cards out from right to left, because it's going to help you with this next sleight that you're doing. This entire time you're also still holding a break with those red cards. So what you're going to do now is you're actually going to be switching out every single one of these cards for every single one of these cards that you have with the break here. Very quickly, you're going to pick up these cards and you're going to be placing them on top of the deck. And then you're going to lift your hand up, and as you lift your hand up, you're going to be basically taking everything from the break and setting it down on the table, and then immediately coming down and starting to shuffle these cards in your hand. What this does is it will successfully switch out all of those cards on the table for all of these red cards that you now currently have. So the misdirection for this, I actually like to ask the spectator if they have a favorite color, either red or black. So I spread the cards out. So spectator, do you actually have a favorite color in the deck? Is it red or is it black? I ask this question as I do the switch, and now the spectator will say either red or black. It really does not matter what they say. The only thing that will change depending on their answer will be your pattern. If they say red, then you tell them that you're actually going to have them basically try to get rid of all the black cards so that they will be left with only red cards in the end, which is what will happen. But if they say that their favorite color is black, then you tell them, okay, interesting. So I'd actually like you to shuffle these cards, and I'd like you to try to find all of the black cards, since those are your favorite, and place those cards on the table so that you can actually locate where all those cards are. And then you'll only be left with red cards in the end. So just change your pattern depending on what they actually say, but the ending of the trick will still look exactly the same no matter what they say. They will always be left with red cards in the end of the trick. As they're doing this entire process, they're going to basically be shuffling these cards that are all red, but remind them that they did see the cards face up on the table, so they have a rough estimate of how many cards are in the pile that are their desired color. So they can go ahead, let's say that they actually like the red cards, so that they're going to get rid of all these black cards that they do not want. Let's say they get rid of that many. So as they're doing all of this, you're actually going to be transferring some of these black cards up to the top half of the deck. I like to do this by doing an overhand shuffle. So I'm going to basically shuffle off about 3/4 of the deck and leave about 1/4 of the deck left in my hands, because this quarter will always be all black cards. So if I do this, in-jog that first card of the shuffle, and then shuffle everything on top, and then I lift up here and catch a break, this will now all be black cards with my break. Let's say they think that these are the black cards and they're left with all of these red cards here. So you're gonna pick up all the cards that they've eliminated, and these are all going to be red, by the way. And you're gonna be getting ready to do this nice little top change packet switch here. In order to cover this move, you're going to be asking the spectator to flip over the cards in their hand first. So if their favorite color was red, then you tell them, so remember, you told me your favorite color was red, so if you actually take a look at the cards that you're left with, and then they're gonna flip over these cards and see that all the cards are red. The moment that they flip over and look at these cards, that is the moment that you execute the switch, which is you're essentially going to be taking your middle and thumb here, grabbing the bottom and the top of this packet that you have a break on, right? Then I'm gonna use my index finger to kind of swing cut the rest of the pile on top of the deck. As I gesture with my left hand, I'm going to basically be pointing and saying, yeah, so these are all red cards. And now the switch is completed, and now I'm completely clean and I'm left with only black cards. But I don't want to just set the deck down immediately. I'll hold the deck in my hands for just a little bit, and then I will set everything down, and then I can cleanly show that every single one of these cards that they had eliminated are all black. So if you do the switch right in the right timing, then it will be completely invisible, completely undetectable by anybody watching, because all the attention in that moment during the switch will always be on the spectator, because they're going to be flipping over the cards and showing everyone around them that all these cards are red. So everyone will be like, whoa, that's amazing. No one is watching you switch out the cards in your own hand over here. So it really is a completely invisible switch if you do it correctly. But yeah, that's essentially the trick. And then you end pretty much completely clean. You can really just spread out the cards here and just show that the deck is completely shuffled. And yeah, that's the trick. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. It's a very, very simple trick, as you can see, but it feels very fair because the spectator was able to see all of those cards beforehand, and then they were able to hold the cards the entire time, and they were the ones eliminating. You did not tell them which ones to eliminate. Everything was completely in their hands. So yeah, that's the trick. Really hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you guys next time. Bye.